Good morning, chaps, if it is morning when you're watching this. Let's just pan back a bit. This is my workshop this morning. Now I've got a big question. I mean, it's bigger than the origins of the universe. It's how did my workshop get to look like this? Ah, dear, oh dear, oh dear. I try to be tidy. I've got several sheds that I store stuff away. But no one else seems to have things like this. You look at other people's sites, or I can think of several I quite admire, but everything's organised. It's almost like a studio or a set. They haven't got jobs in the waiting, or things I'll do later on, or half tins of paint. They don't have to work round the kid's bike or the lawnmower or anything like that. They haven't got anything broken, or I don't know how they do it. It's a complete mystery to me. I'm very fortunate that in the couple of years or so I've been doing the videos, I've got quite a few subscribers now, and that's very, very nice. But they keep me busy with questions and queries, which I like. I like the feedback. That's part of the enjoyment for me. But I don't subscribe to anyone's channel. There's a lot out there I thoroughly admire. I've tried to contact some I can, some I can't. We're back to this googly plus business or something. But I'm still learning. But I don't know how some of them do it. They seem so organised. They just don't seem to work in a muddle like I do. And I so admire some people's workshops and the equipment and the machinery and all this. But it's almost like a showroom. It's a complete mystery to me. They don't seem to live in the sort of world I do. There's many people that seem so organised. Perhaps I'm not. And the presentation is good. If you look at Matthias Vondel's woodworking gear site, I forget what it's called. That's an excellent young man who presents very well, the lighting, the sound. But there's no sawdust. There's no mess. How do they do it? Where does it go? Does it go in a black hole or something? Not like me. You never see paint on the hand or a cut or an old pullover they're working in, do you? You know, is it me? Am I a slob? Don't answer that. But, you know, it's crazy. But anyway, that's just an observation. But I find it quite amazing. Anyway, yesterday I went fishing. And I couldn't fish where I wanted to. There were some commercial boys there and lots of activity going on, so couldn't get to my favourite spot, so nothing much happened for a couple of hours, and I had about an hour left before I had to make my way back to my mooring. So I went a couple of miles up the coast, and I started getting into some only small stuff, whiting mainly. And I caught my I'm codling of the season, so I was pleased about that, so I got a tea out of it. And what I've got 3 rods out the back. I'm angling, not fishing, as I should say. But I've got 3 rods out the back, and they're all matched the same, and they all use these little reels. Now these are cheap little reels. It's Fast Cast 300. It's a neat little bait casting reel. A little level wind. They weren't a great deal of money. You might say they were cheap. They're about 18 or 19 quid a piece. Well, I don't consider that cheap. To me, that's a lot of money. Yes, I know I'm tight, but that is a lot of money. And I know you can pay £100 or so for a reel. And all those who's going to jump up and down and say, well, you get what you pay for and all that. I know that. I'm well aware of that. But if finances are allowed, I'd buy a gold-plated one. But it doesn't. So we have to sort of horses for courses, okay? So if you're going to produce something, and you're producing something surely for the bottom end of the market, of course you're going to cut corners. Of course you're going to skimp where you can, reduce costs. I quite appreciate that and quite understand that. So in that respect, you do get what you pay for. But it shouldn't... What's the word? What am I trying to say? It should be fit for purpose. However cheap, however poor something is, it should sort of do the job. Maybe not last as much as a quality one, but I mean, I've got 3 of these, and as I say, I don't consider them cheap. But I've had them for less than 3 months, and they've all played up with this engaging gear business. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. And this one packed up completely yesterday. Well, I couldn't cast with it. It wouldn't free up. It wouldn't let go. And I wasn't too happy about that. So today I'm going to have a look and see what I can do. I don't like taking these sort of things apart, to be honest. They're sort of, the manufacture of them, they're sort of the last screw that comes out and everything goes on the bench, you know, and there's all little bits and pieces, and will you ever get it back together again? No one else has these problems, do they? My camera just went bleep, 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 bleep and wanted the head clean. I suppose other people edit all those out. Oh dear, I can't be bothered. Anyway, back to this. It's described as a bait casting reel, suitable for light sea fishing. Well, that's what they've said. But if you look in there, no, the camera doesn't show it. Is it that way around? No, but we see it before long. There's a little bar in there that goes along, a level wind runs along. Well, if you're going to deal with sea fishing, that means salt water, or it did when I went to school. But it's gone completely rusty, absolutely completely, it's just a bar of rust along there. That's not what's stopping this, by the way. But, so it's a piece of mild steel. And yes, it's what you call cheap. But if that was a piece of stainless, it wouldn't have added 1 penny to its manufacture, not 1 penny. And I'd gladly have paid an extra £1 for it to be a bit of stainless steel. I mean, that's really short-sighted thinking as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, before the missus starts shouting she wants to go to Tesco's and get the shopping or something or other, no one else gets this, do they? Right, we'll grab the bull by the horns and we'll take it apart. Well, I could regret this. That. We'll get rid of the little swivel at that end. That's it. And we've got 1 big screw here and 2 small ones this side. We've never had one of these apart before. Let's try these. Will it undo? Well, that will undo. I've got a better driver. No, find a proper driver that will do the job. That's how you spoil things. Right, that one. Let's try that. Oh, that's better. Right. Well, lay that there. Nothing's gone ping yet. something's coming apart. Keep your hand on that for a sec. No, my luck, there'll be all ball bearings right now. They don't use ball bearings. Too tight to use them. So, come apart. It's not coming apart. It nearly comes apart. Ooh. It doesn't want to know. So what else is holding this? Okay, let's take the handle off. Right, 2 long ones, 1 short one. Right. So what holds that on? Nothing. Oh, that's wonderful plastic. Joke. Good God, look, a little bit of brass. Whatever next. Take that off. Take the handle off. We'll lay things in order. That handle and that. Then a little washery arrangement. Then next wheel, followed by followed by a little washer. I keep things in order. Followed by, wow, look at that, little bull race. Things are looking up, guys. And it's come off. Oh, look at the mess. Let's see if I can zoom in. Look at the mess here. There's a mild steel spring just giving up the ghost here. Just fell apart. Right. Oh, they're awful, aren't they? Oh, I see what happens. Ah, ha, ha. Ah. I'm just going to stop. In some ways it's quite good. In some ways there's some machining going on. Quite like this little gearing. But they've fell down on these springs. They fell down on, I'll get it in shot. There we go, look, that bar there, absolutely rusty as heck. And it's just a little piece of 8th rod. If that had been stainless, that wouldn't have happened. I can replace that. If I can find another spring to replace that one, it's just fell in half, look. And clean up this rust here. It might go for another couple of months. Anyway, I'm just going to lay things out a bit carefully for the moment. So I'm going to stop the video. I've laid the items out in the order in which I've taken them apart. That sometimes helps. And it would appear that the action of pushing that down raises this little cog away from that cog, takes it out of gear, and then when you wind the handle, that drops down and the little springs push this little cog and remeshes it with that one for you to wind. And the reason there's a bull race on this one is it's only appears to be held one end. The aluminium castings are beautifully disguised as plastic. So I reckon that was a very expensive reel. Right, can I find some more springs like that? That's the first thing to sort out. I've just realised I'm wrong, guys. This cog stays in mesh with the main wheel all the time. But by raising this bar up, that little square, that brass square there, engages with that drive there. And this little paw, this end, is badly worn. It goes underneath this piece, and it shouldn't. If I hold that down, that will now drive it forward. So it's an awful lot of problems here. It's really not surprising that, well, what is surprising is it lasted a couple, 3 months. Makes you wonder if it's really worth all the effort. You've got to do something. Not going to go and buy another one, am I? Well, I've found a couple of springs. I'll put it back together, but I don't like it. It might finish off the season. If not, it'll get thrown over the side. So, the point I made earlier on, it wasn't cheap, it's grossly expensive.